Good morning. Guessing it's working. Thank you for being with us this morning. We're going to talk about clicking.
There you go.
All done. Now we're going. Why are we doing it now, do you think? Why are we talking about this now?
Well, we've got a lot of audios and we've been recording for many, many years. And when I saw the Spielberg movie come out, I just
trailer.
The trailer. I laughed. I thought, this is so bizarre. And I thought, I wonder what would happen if I released the audio of the clicking. And so that was released on Reddit in the experiences group, and it got a good response, which was great. Lots of really interesting questions came from that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, people are going, we didn't realize that you could record some of the stuff that goes on. Well, it turns out that we've been recording with other people as well. So their contact, we've been recording clicking as well with them.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to explain what is clicking, what happens with the clicking, what sorts of clicking there are,
how it's produced,
and just a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Now, we're gonna talk around this. So we're not just gonna play a couple of clips and then go, all right, because there's so many questions around it. But what I did want to say is, if you have a pair of headphones, probably it would be good to use them. And we'll tell you when we're going to play. We're not just going to randomly do it, all right? So we'll give you a heads up, and we'll let you know when we're going to play the recordings. And that's because it's really hard to firstly identify clicking on recordings, and to then isolate them and clearly play them back. And so we've done our best to do that. Sometimes the clicking, it varies in speed and tone and rhythm. Sometimes it's incredibly clear. Sometimes it's extremely fast. Sometimes it's very quiet, and sometimes it's quiet and loud, and it's a mixture of everything. Okay, so we're going to play 4 clips that are from our own work. They're not from anyone else, and you're best to use your headphones to listen to it. So the first thing that I've just alluded to there is the context of these clicks. They're from the Zetas. Other races may use a clicking process. We don't know. We don't have any evidence of that. We've never even asked the Zetas about other races using clicking. It's never even come up. So the clicking that we're talking about is from the Zetas through Paul. And that's it. Okay. Our own experiences.
The other thing I want to say, just before we continue on, is the amount of times that technology fails when we're trying to record. So I remember doing a public sitting, and so I didn't realise that somebody had brought in with them a brand new recorder, and it had batteries and everything.
Like a little dictaphone.
And so what they did was they put it on the floor and then kicked it, and it slid in front of me. Not that I heard it or anything like that. But at the end of the sitting, the person walked over and picked it up and tried to play it, and the device was dead. And the Zetas had completely neutralised it. They didn't want
that's right.
any information. Whereas other times, they've adjusted technology like that person's hearing aids and all this sorts of stuff. So it's really up to them as to what takes place. So we'll see.
Okay. So I'm just noticing that someone said the sound keeps dropping out. Is that right? I mean, that's not going to be a good start. Is anyone else struggling?
Is that light on?
Is anyone else struggling with the sound? Well, it wasn't. Well, it was, but now it's off again. Is this going to be one of these days? Is it?
Do you want me to unplug it and plug it back in?
Yeah.
Okay. you watch the technology fail now.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah. Now it's on. All right. Hopefully that's better, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Okay, sound
Okay.
is fine.
Good. Yeah, it's really common in our sittings if we're recording with a battery operated device that those batteries will be absolutely drained and the device will fail. When we going back to what you just said before, we noticed the sound problem there. That person who brought the recorder in wasn't supposed to. We do say no electrical devices and stuff in the sittings, mainly because we don't want people's technology busting. As you can see, we have problems. But this person did sneak something in and the device failed. So there we go, nothing was recorded. And our sounds dropped out again, I think, but hopefully that's all okay. All right. So we want to say that not all clicking is the Zetas. I wanted to use the word aliens there, but I'm going to go back to the Zetas.
Aliens.
We've had a lot of comments in response to the audio that we've posted, and some of them say, "Oh, I hear clicking when I go shopping, and I hear clicking here, and I hear clicking there." We need to put some context to this, okay? But ours are from sitting environments. They're where time and place where we've purposefully sat for them to communicate through Paul. They aren't random moments around the house or when we've been out shopping or anything like that. We also want to say that in that sitting process, if you are a developing medium or you're sitting for whatever contact and whatever methodology you're using to do that just because you hear the clicking in those contexts doesn't necessarily mean it's aliens either. An example of that is kinetic energy, isn't it? And we talked about kinetic energy being released from a developing medium in many contexts. That sound can be in the air around us. Static from ectoplasmic buildup with developing physical mediums is really, really common. So you're sitting with a developing medium and you can hear little static sounds around you, okay? So that's very common as well. And astral noises. When people sit, they can often find themselves sitting within the astral fabric. Their frequency hasn't lifted enough above the astral, and what they're hearing are noises in the astral fabric around them rather than being generated by any beings. How can somebody test that if that's what's going on for you? Well, you can try and record it. If it's noises in the astral, you won't be able to pick them up generally on a recorder. We've never experienced that. It doesn't mean it might not happen, but we've never experienced it. Another thing, can anyone else around you hear those noises in that sitting process? So always use discernment with this. Just because we hear clicking, it's not always aliens, okay?
It can't be aliens, please.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Sometimes humans can misconstrue ET clicking when what they are hearing is the
blood vessels in their ears straining. Wow, never heard that.
Never heard of that before, but hey, why not? Why would your blood vessels in your ears be straining when you're sitting? That brings up a whole raft of questions that we're not going to go into. And another question that somebody brought up in the context of not clicking is aliens. Is it the same as spirit rapping? Now, no is the quick answer. But spirit rapping is when the spirit people are making purposeful rapping sounds. Like they're knocking on things. They can also affect the fabric in the room, like they can make floorboards pop and crack. I've been in sittings with a medium, and the spirit people in that environment were able to make the clicking, it sounded like popcorn, and it ran all the way down the wall and across the floor and into the cabinet and then back again. It was actually incredible, and they did it in multiple different directions. That is not what we're talking about here. Has it gone off again?
Because trying to play the sounds to that microphone, and now it says that the connection's unstable. Okay, so I did expect technical issues in regards to creating this, because The last couple of videos that we've done, we've had technical issues. All right. And some of them are related to the Zetas. I will just say that. So we'll see what we're going to happen now. You want me to play the first clicking?
No,
No. What do you want me to do?
I want to move on to the different types of clicking
All right.
that we've recorded, because not all clicking is equal. So first off, back in 2000, because these are recordings we're talking about from 2013, some of them. Zeta interviews. This is our really moth-eaten copy now. This is the first edition. Again,
there's four editions of it.
Yeah, you can download the most recent edition for free off the website. As always, zetaconnection.com. It's free PDF. Go get the book if you want it. On page, written it down, 191 in the latest edition, which was recorded December the 30th, 2013, one of the sitters asked the Zetas through Paul,
I'm getting the words, don't worry,
what the clicking was. And so we're just going to read that out. This is their words.
So basically, the person that was sitting, which would have been a scientist at that point, said, "What is the clicking used for?" And the Zeta said through me, "Firstly, the clicking is a guarantee that we are speaking. And so when this is heard on the recording device, there will be a clicking associated with our words." I want to explain that. So when they first started to come through, I would hear clicking sort of telepathically, I guess, and then I would see 2 or 3 words, and they were backwards. Because I was in an altered state, I actually spoke the words that I saw coming through backwards, not realizing that they were backwards. At the end of the sitting, people said to me, "We think we know what was said, but the problem is that the sentences were all backwards." Right? And so we thought, well, this isn't going to work if they're going to talk backwards. When we played the audio, at the end of the 3 words, it was a click, but it was on the audio. And so what we started to realize is that they were somehow transferring this information to me in a compressed state, and then as it expanded into the words, there was a clicking sound. So when we spoke to them about it, look, you're actually speaking backwards, they then turned the sentence framework around, and then I could read the words that they were saying. It was like it was on a big black screen in front of me, right? I didn't realize that they were going to do deep trance work with me in regards to, not just clicking, but with a whole lot of other stuff, right? So I just wanted to explain that. And then they said, now, the energy of the clicking, the conscious state of the clicking, allows the communication process to move into a more firm environment. And so the medium is able to utilize the clicking as it is based in consciousness, and it provides states of connection. Right. Now, people are going to see this movie, the Spielberg movie, and they're going to hear this woman sort of clicking and all the rest of it. And it may be that somehow he worked out, the producer of the movie, Spielberg, that that's from all the reports that people had, sort of lodged with MUFON or other places, that people are generally heard clicking. Right? Clicking in itself is pretty innocuous, and it also doesn't do anything for you because you can't understand what it means. And we've asked the Zetas to actually speak in using their own voice, right? And they have a very limited capacity, limited vocal structure. And when they did, it was like a squeal that nobody could decipher. Like you were talking about dolphins squealing or something yesterday in regards to
sounds like dolphins.
Sounds like dolphins. So then the scientist, after that explanation of clicking, asked the question, well, is this clicking a connection between the race, like telepathic connection between each of the beings? And the answer was, and it's a little bit longer, Zeta said, I can hear discussion and clicking with my race, but you cannot. With my race, there is much being said between us. Now, I will give you an example. You speak in English, and if your friend is also speaking with you, it is because of the language that you are speaking together, because you are both speaking the same language, which is English. They are able to assimilate into the conversation and they know the language. But what if you were speaking in a different language? Would your friend be able to understand what was being said? No. And so your friend must know the language to communicate with you. We are the same. We use our own language, and as the medium moves in to the language field, we then are able to understand the words that the medium needs to speak. It provides us with an impetus to move into the connection and speak, because the medium is then removed and then we speak. A state of conversation is created and then we come.
Yeah.
So that's the technical side to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's what they said. They know what they're talking about. So we do have audio of these clicks at the beginning and the end of the sentences, but they're so difficult to isolate because because there's generally music and sounds and it's in between all the talking. Really hard to get a sample and play it through the internet and to be able to hear it. So you just have to take our word for that one. But moving on to the second type of clicking that we've identified, and this is what they're talking about, is the communication between themselves. Now, Jeff asked, why do they need to do clicking where they're telepathic? Well, we were going to talk about exactly that. And they were asked that question. And their response was that when they're on craft and when they're in their home environments, their telepathy is supported
Via technology.
by technology. They don't have that technology whilst walking around on this planet. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that why aren't they, squealing around? I guess, but they can't, because to be walking around on this planet, they need a little breathing device. Yeah. And
it's a filter.
Because their atmosphere is not the same as our atmosphere. It's different.
There's too much nitrogen in Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah. So they resort to this clicking process. Now we know that they have a redundant tongue, just like they have an atrophied. Oh, I nearly got that word right. Digestive system. They have an atrophied tongue process as well. They're not using that. They actually create the clicks in cavities in their skull.
Yeah.
But we don't have any finer detail on that about how they would be. I guess they're forcing air into these cavities, and these cavities are making noises. But how they do that, we don't know. I'd like to ask them about that, actually.
Yeah, you could.
So we've got a couple of clips of audio of them talking amongst themselves, and we're going to play those now. So if you've got your headphones with you and they're not plugged in, plug them in.
I'm going to unplug our microphone and plug it back in, because to play these, I need to make sure that it comes back on. It's on. Are we going to play it now while the light's on?
So this first clip is outside. Okay, so this is not coming through Paul's vocal cords. To make this clear, the Zetas are in the room producing these sounds. Okay, so
here we go.
All right. No, we're going to need your feedback
Were you able
to hear that. Okay. So you would have heard these watery noises, and then you can hear these like high frequency, high pitched clicks. It takes a little while to get your ear into
All right,
into
so they
it.
heard it. So we'll just play it one more time, and just so that you know, it's actually this specific audio is them is up on YouTube on our channel, so
Yeah.
you can hear it again if you want.
Okay. So that's one sample. Right, we're going to move on to the next sample now. This next sample is a bit slower, isn't it?
No, this one's really difficult to hear and understand because there's a lot of white noise.
Yeah, so you've got to listen through the white noise.
We're just going to play it, and look, it's nowhere near as clear as the first one. So we'll just see how we go.
We'll play it a few times because people will need to get there.
All right, here we go.
We've lost the mic again.
Were you able to hear that? Maybe, maybe not. I know that one's very difficult to hear. Right?
Do you want to play? Just try it one more time.
Well, I would have barely. Okay,
all right,
so that means
hang on,
that.
We'll try it again. Hang on.
Hang on, Jeff said yes. Should we pull it?
Yeah, do that.
See, we knew we were going to have technical problems doing anything like this.
Okay, here we go again.
Let me just
hearing it all perfectly. Yes, okay. Somebody.
Let me just say to you, getting any type of evidence like this
is really difficult.
Is extremely difficult. People have no idea. People go, "Oh, well, why didn't you just record that craft as it was landing?" And you're going, you just don't understand what you're asking.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky if your phone didn't explode when you were trying to take, the footage.
Yeah.
Especially when something's close. It's different if it's a long way away.
Yeah.
You're definitely not going to damage your phone then.
Yeah.
But when we have some of these close encounters, it can be really bizarre. And the other thing is that you're also put into an altered state. So there's an anesthetic applied to you. You'll see in the movies, like, people are often just standing there.
They look like really zoned out.
Really zoned out and all the rest of it. That's exactly what happens. You get completely whacked out with them being anywhere near you, right?
Okay, so this next one, okay, now this is like a series of 3 or 4 clicks, and they are very close together, and they play extremely fast, okay?
And the reason we're letting you listen to this one is to explain something after this one. Here we go. Okay, can you just I'm going to unplug this microphone again because, of course, we're having technical issues. And here we go.
Okay.
So basically, if anyone was able to hear that, and I'd be interested if people were able to hear it, we've actually slowed that right down.
Yeah.
So the clicking is coming through so fast that they actually have to tell us whereabouts it is on the audio. So they'll say, "Oh, we've just put some audio of us talking on your recording device," and I'll say, "Oh, okay," and so I make sure I say, "Oh, okay," and then I go to download the audio and put it into WavePad, and then I listen and I find the word where I go, "Okay," and then I try to find this. And it's like one click, but it's not one click. It's because they're in a differentiated space-time compression area. And so when they're talking, it could be a complete sentence, but it comes in as that. That's it. And then when you pull the click apart, there it is, the whole sentence of them speaking.
Yeah.
Now they're speaking in their to each other, right? But this is why it's so difficult for us to actually have disclosure between extraterrestrials and humans, because trying to interact with them is going to be extremely difficult on many, many levels. Um, I asked the Zetas to show me what would happen to a human that wasn't trained for contact, and they said, yes, no problem. And then I just blacked out. And that was it. And I went, when I sort of woke up, I was like, why did I black out? They said, well, you asked us to show you what would happen if we had contact with a human. I said, yeah, but I blacked out. And they go, yes, that's because that's what's going to happen, right? So that's
Not
it.
very useful.
It's pretty useless, isn't it, really?
All right. So with this clicking, we've got lots of samples like that.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to hear and all of that. Now, as many people know, we did a lot of work with Canadian scientists, William Trinit, who passed away earlier this year. But his work carries on. But back in 2013?
Yes.
Paul and William did an experiment with this clicking. So let me tell them about that.
So William was talking to me and he goes, if this is really what you're saying this is, now remember, scientists are very good at always making sure that they try to get empirical evidence, right? He said, then it should be possible for him to put his recording device on in Canada and me to put my recording device on here, and the Zetas should be able to put a click or a sentence on his recorder in Canada and my recorder here at exactly the same time. And that's exactly what they did. So we were able to, we got the Zetas to do it. They then told us where it was. We then both went to our different audios, and there was the sentence on both of the recording devices as well. So I thought that that was a pretty good, from their perspective. It probably wasn't even a difficult thing for them to do.
No.
But for us, it was like, wow, that's just pretty impressive that they were able to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So another type of click that they do, Paul's alluded to, is that they place a single click into the audio, whether that's heard out loud by people or not, it depends. But they place the click onto the audio, and when the audio is slowed down and that click is drawn out, it contains other clicks or information. Now, do you want to tell them about the last clip with the music?
No. So,
and just bear in mind, we're going to have
I'm
to
going
do
to
the
have to
mic
unplug
again.
the microphone.
Yeah.
So,
oh no.
I really like the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Right?
Who doesn't?
I watched it yesterday again for the 10th time, and the Zetas, they knew that I liked that sound, and so one day they said, "Oh, we put some click on one of the audios for you," and I went, "Oh, okay," and I had a look at it, and I could find the clip, but I couldn't work out what it was supposed to be. Anyway, I sent it to William, and William sent it back, and it was the music from the Close Encounters of the Contact.
Yeah.
You know that
when the big spaceship comes down.
Da, 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 da. That's actually what they had put on here.
Yeah.
Now, because they did it themselves, it doesn't sound like the one from the movie. It sounds
like
something similar.
Yeah.
So we're going to play it for you. And the Zetas thought that I would find it amusing, right? And so from their perspective, that they weren't finding it amusing, that I would find it. And I think you're right, Angels, that it was very nice of them to do this. I will play it for you a few times. The last note is very low.
We've got any more volume on it? So there
So
you
now
go.
I know where he got that from.
That's funny. So that was all in one click, and we slowed, or Paul slowed that click down, drew it out, and there it was.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. I find that just bonkers. I love it.
Bonkers, yeah.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
But we've been allowed to record lots of stuff. So we had a craft come down over the house, and before they even arrived, they said to me, "Quickly grab your phone and press record. We're about to do something."
Yeah.
And then when the craft came down, they were using a sonar ping
Yeah,
type noise.
like you hear on a
We were
submarine.
able to record that. Do the Zetas understand and have humour? They don't really have humour. But they understand that we have humour. So that's
Yeah.
often when we see people that are saying they're working with beings with hats and feathers in their hats and all the rest of it, and they're greys. I'm like, that's probably just a way that they're interacting with that person, just because they know that that's probably the person might be a bit afraid or scared or whatever the reason, and so they'll generally come like that. But the Zetas just come as they are with us. They always have,
Yeah.
even when we've been on craft, and you've seen that 7 foot tall Zeta
Hmm.
yourself, and you were terrified
Mhm.
and all the rest of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun.
that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. I recall people in sittings trying to tell the Zetas jokes, and
Oh,
it just falls flat on its face every time.
and it could be a good joke too, by the way.
They don't have a sense of humor. We've seen greys mimic humor, but we've never seen the Zetas mimic humor.
Yeah.
That what they did with that audio is the closest it comes to
I think they did it because
that.
I found
Yeah.
it interesting,
Yeah,
and
there's
and
no
I
other
liked
reason.
I liked
Yeah.
the fact that the humans had worked out that if there was a tone that they could play to the craft in the movie, that what would happen is the craft would then play it back to the humans, and then using music they could synchronize some sort of language between them. So I would suggest that the Zetas definitely know about music and about tones and the whole structure of music as well. So that's why it was used to suggest.
Well, they say music is a universal language,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter where you're from in the world. If someone generally plays a sad piece of music, you understand that it feels sad, and if somebody plays happy music, you understand that it's a happy piece of music. It's universal. It transcends language. So yeah, okay. Um, so like we said earlier, we've had a lot of questions. We've hoped we've answered a lot of those questions in the information that we've given as we've gone along. One person said, how do you know it's the Zetas making those clicks? Like, how do you know it's them?
Well,
How do
because
we know it's them for sure?
when they come, the whole room changes, the energy changes, right? And then you will, the people that are sitting in the room will generally lose their ability to think. That's the first thing, which makes it extremely difficult for the Zetas to get any conversations going with humans because everyone's just sitting there blank,
Yeah.
right? And then once they reduce the level of energy in the room and people have got their cognitive faculties back, right? And then the Zetas go, right, well, we're going to talk about this subject, or we could, have multiple scientists sitting in the room, and they're all up talking to the Zetas as well.
Yeah.
And so I don't have such a broad range of knowledge that I can answer every single question for everything on the planet. I just just don't have that capacity in any way. But the Zetas have managed so far over the years to be questioned over hundreds and hundreds of hours,
Yeah.
publicly as well as privately, via people and 40 people at a time and all these sorts of things. So, and then they're able to bring craft, and that's what they did. We were able to vector in a craft and do it safely with the Zeta. So, and when they came, they actually, put their hands on the shoulders. I really like that story because it was physical, absolutely physical contact. And they said that they were going to come on the day that they said that they were going to come. And so we've had multiple levels of evidence of them saying who they are and what they're doing. And that's how we know that they're actually not demons. And this is the other thing that everybody's banging on about on the internet. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. That the Zetas have only ever done what's good for humanity. That they've never, ever harmed anybody.
They've healed lots of
people, and they've done the right thing as well. And it was very difficult to build any type of relationship with them initially because I had no idea how I could trust them. This is the truth, right? And you're going to all be in the same situation. Once disclosure's finished from the Americans, and they've seen this and they've brought that out and they've showed you a body and a craft and whatever, people are going to go, well, how do I make contact with these beings? You are going to be where I was many, many, many years ago, and you're not going to know what it is. Now, someone might go, oh, you just do C5, the aliens come and all the rest of it. You want to be real careful if you think that's how easy it's going to be. As you've seen with the Zetas, they speak in their own language. They didn't understand English. They had to access my word pool in my mind to learn what all the words meant. There's depending on what race is also coming to you as well. And generally, the lower forms of races come. Let's say a reptilian race will come to a person, and that person could end up really in a lot of strife. So there's a lot of warnings going on all of the different social media platforms about people just grabbing a Ouija board and trying to contact aliens, or just running outside and screaming, "Come and get me," or something like that. Because you never know; it could probably happen, but it won't happen the way that you want. That's definitely not going to happen, right? So, if you've got any questions, we've only got about 2 or 3 questions.
Yeah, we don't have many. Yeah.
So if you've got any questions, write them in now, and then we'll answer them, or forever hold your peace.
Somebody's asked us, have the Zetas ever made a chirping sound?
No.
No, we've only ever heard clicks, clicks.
Yeah.
Never any chirping. Somebody asked, is the clicking we're hearing in response to listening to the audio like an authentication methodology?
Yes. And so, as I read out before, I started to wonder what was going on when they were talking. And I said, well, how do I know that I don't get hijacked by some other being? And they said, well, what we'll do is we'll add a click to the end of every sentence on the audio. And so as they were speaking, you couldn't hear the click, which was fine. But once you played the audio, there was a click at the end of every single sentence. And so they did exactly like they said that they were going to do. And so this went on for about 18 months to 2 years, that I insisted that they put the click at the end of every sentence, so I knew that it was them speaking. Yeah.
I guess authentication with the Zetas, it comes in lots of different ways. So we would never just rely on listening to clicks. It's all about the energy of them being with us as well. So you get to recognize that.
Well, Trisha's saying, do other races use clicks?
They may do.
They may, but let me say, I've never heard the Anunnaki clicking because they speak English.
Yeah.
The Arcturians don't click. No. The Sirius B or Sirius A? Sirius A maybe.
Yeah.
They don't use clicking. The Honorians don't use clicking.
Yeah.
The Trillians don't use clicking. I'm mentioning the races now that you remember. The Collectors don't use clicking.
So we know which races don't use it.
The Reptilians don't use clicking either.
Unless they wanted to
deceive somebody.
Which they do.
Yeah, they do. So
the abductors would. the
Yeah,
greys.
yeah, the abductors definitely
Yeah.
would do that to
Yeah.
deceive somebody, I guess. I must have forgotten about 6 races when I just said that.
Yeah.
I didn't mention all the Zeta races. Let me give you an example. We call them the naturals, but they're actually Zetas. They don't use clicking.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to dispute that with
Yeah,
you.
well, we're going to have a dispute.
Yeah, because one person we work with is from their race and they hear clicking.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. Oh, yes. I recorded it as well. I completely forgot. There you go.
Uh,
Um,
do
uh,
all the facets of the race use clicking? We don't know, but I would assume they do.
Someone has said, Do we have a demonstration of the clicking that we have experienced?"
We
I,
just played them.
they only just turned up, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's okay. So if you look on our channel, you'll see a video
Yeah,
that goes for about 6 seconds, and it says the Zetas speaking,
yeah,
and that's some of the clicking that.
yeah.
So you could
And you'll
just
be able to watch the first half. Well, that's all the stuff you've missed. You'll be able to watch it
is
as
in this
soon as we've
video.
finished. It'll upload to YouTube, and you'll be able to watch it back over
Mm.
until they tell us to take it down again, which is probably going to happen. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Why would they do that?
Well, they did that last time.
Oh, you mean the Zetas told us to take down? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the clicking in Disclosure Day similar to the clicking we have experienced?
We don't know. We haven't seen the film
I've
yet.
heard it. I've watched a
Yeah.
trailer and I've heard a couple of things, and I went, "Here we go."
It sounds very similar.
It definitely sounds
Yeah.
similar.
But I believe I read somewhere yesterday that the actress who plays the leading female character, I don't know their name, I'm really sorry, she made the sounds up in her mouth or something. Um,
Well, how else was she going to make the sounds up?
well, they could have just auto generated the
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah. But they knew what they were doing. Come on,
Well,
let's be serious here.
I
I
remember.
know that they're saying that,
I remember.
but Spielberg, he's done his homework.
I remember somebody saying, and I
Mhm.
don't know if it was Spielberg himself, but somebody said Close Encounters was all
Emily
based
Blunt.
on true reports.
Yes, experiencer reports. Yeah.
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 So maybe this one is too. I guess we'll find out in a couple of
Interesting
days.
that you said that, because I read a report yesterday from somebody who was responding to me, because I'd posted on one of the big experiencer groups, and somebody said, or told me their story of clicking, and that they were out in the middle of the forest. They were camping inside their vehicle at night. Suddenly, at 3 a.m. in the morning, of course, alien o'clock,
What is it about?
they hear this shuffling noise, and they thought it was like a fox or something.
Yeah.
And next thing, their vehicle was surrounded with beings all clicking,
Oh, okay.
right? And I thought, wow, that would, if you didn't know what was going on, that would be quite a very scary experience for that person.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well, I know what it's like just having one of them next to the side of you, let alone a whole group.
Yeah. The Zetas do have lung capacity, but remember,
It's in the primer, I think.
the clicking comes from the cavities.
Yeah.
Right. Not via their vocal cords.
So we don't know how.
Yeah, we don't know what the
They
physical
make that sound.
manifestation is of that.
Yeah. We need more information.
No, he doesn't. No, Two Crows doesn't interact with the Zetas. It doesn't mean that he probably didn't when he was alive. And for the people that don't know, Two Crows is a spirit, which is fine. That's not his real name anyway, so I don't mind saying it. So when a person is alive, like us, when we're interacting with the extraterrestrials or interdimensionals, they might call them the star people, right? And so they interact with them when they're alive. But when they transition and go to spirit realm or whatever, then they no longer interact with the beings, because there is the highest possible law written that is that they do not, the Zetas in particular, do not interfere with the human's free will. And in saying that, they won't enter spirit realm. And so no other races are allowed to enter spirit realm as
Yeah.
well.
It's a frequency thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Different frequency. Spirits are one frequency. Extraterrestrials are a different frequency.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to play two radio stations from the same radio at the same time. Can't do it. One or the other.
Yep. Well, there you go. Oh, really?
Oh.
He made a tremendous impact on me when
Do you know
I
who
was
that
there. I think I know who's speaking.
Hang on.
I know who it is. Yeah, I know who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that Two Crows gave you a great experience when you were here with us
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah,
We do have
very
people.
interesting
We do have people
character.
come and stay with us, and they get to talk to the Zetas. We had a couple who turned up from the States, and the Zetas showed themselves to them in a sitting.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah, that
pretty
was spectacular.
That was pretty interesting as well. So
That
it
great.
is what it is. All right, so that's it for us, and let's hope.
No more questions. I think
Let's
we're done.
let's just see how we go. All right.
I hope that you were able to hear those audios to some degree. Who knows if this video will still be up in a week's time?
I think it will be. I don't.
They did say we could. We
Now-
did check. They said we could.
Now that it's all out there, and
Yeah.
and there's a lot of other people coming forward saying, "Oh, well, I've been listening and hearing clicks, but I never recorded them."
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we need to record them, and if we can get enough audios together that show that we all are getting these clicking things,
Yeah.
that's really good evidence.
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, it was lovely to be here today, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Yeah. We're
All righty.
fortnightly at this point, so
There you go. Well, that's because this is what I wanted to mention.
Ooh.
A shout out to Rodrigo Echeto.
Oh God, how could we have forgotten?
Yes.
Ah,
So Rodrigo has created a very small film.
6 minutes,
6
6.5
minutes.
minutes.
We believe it's on his channel. It's on X as
It
well.
is on his channel, and
But if you go to our YouTube channel and go down the bottom, you'll see an icon or
See
a
a
playlist called Rodrigo. We've put that little 5-minute movie in there, and what he's done is he's narrated the words that the Zetas speak about consciousness
from the Zeta interview.
from the Zeta interviews. He's
Yeah.
done a really good job.
It is
So
awesome.
well done.
Yeah.
And he's looking at doing some more of them as well. So
Yeah.
this will be really good. All right. So go and watch that. Actually, just go
Just
and
go
watch that little
watch it now.
6-minute movie.
We're gonna go watch it again.
I watched it a couple of times. I really like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
See you later,
Take
everybody.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.